Hello, everybody. There's a lot going on in the news world today. And I can prove it. Here's an interesting thing that popped across my desk. Here's a picture. Guess who this is? Yeah, Rappaport. Yeah. Rappo. And they're in wine country somewhere, and he has a bottle of wine. And I zeroed in that bottle of wine. And it has 29 on it. Someone has to tell me where he was. All right, we have some interesting statistics. This is the population change. I don't know whether this is the National Bureau of Labor. Or, I don't know who did these statistics. I should know that. I actually don't know. Is there a footnote? Let's see. Notable. Washington. It's every state. And it's the change in population this will change all kinds of congressional districts and numbers of precincts and all that kind of thing. You know, the number of representatives per state. Anyway, Texas will add 8.5 million people in the next from 2025 to 2025 to 2050. Woo. Yeah. I don't know if I'll make 2050. 2040. That would make me 105 years old. I don't know. That's 10 years past my life expectancy. My cardiologist says I'm good to 94. And then he'll check, and then I'm supposed to sign up for my next appointment. Yes, sir. That's a 22% change. So Texas will undergo a 22% increase in its population. Florida would add 5.15 million people for a 22% change. Most notably, you can go on down the list there. I'm going to go on down the list real fast. Yes, sir. Illinois will lose 1 million people. It'll lose 8% of its population. Michigan will lose 4% of its population. Ohio will lose 3% of its population. Pennsylvania, 3%. Connecticut, 8%. West Virginia, 15%. Whoa. And Mississippi will lose 9%. I boxed those in. That's a big decrease in population when everyone in these states, let's see, 2, 4, these 7 states are in the bottom. These are listed in order. Starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 45, yeah. And then here we are, the bottom of the list. Notably, North Dakota, Idaho, Washington, D.C. are all projected to see 30% growth over that same period. Yep. On the other hand, Illinois is set to be the sharpest absolute decline, losing 1.1 million residents. Okay. I think that's something that is notable. It has been noted. So we have Rappaport and friends at this winery. And it's a little fuzzy. Yeah. They're unfortunately standing. There's a, the picture's just a little too tight. I'm just looking to see if there's a name on top of that big keg. Got those steel bands around there. Yeah. Winery businesses. That's a lot of grapes. You squeeze a lot of grapes and put them in that barrel. Yeah. With a very special blend of I am a CFI who has just taken on a return to flying student. I'm a certified flight instructor, and I've just taken on a return to flying student who hasn't flown in 33 years. He still has his logbook, and it looks like he's met most of the requirements for private certification. What do I have to do to reactivate this guy? Well, assuming he's got his medical certificate. Okay, now there's 2 different things. To be a private pilot, the learner needs to have both. Is to fill out a student pilot application on integrated airman certification and rating application. The IACRA this best done with the help of a CFI, as you need to verify information and endorse the application. Then the student gets a temporary certificate that you can print out, and the plastic one arrives in a few weeks later. There's more to that story, apparently. I clipped it off there. You can go to the website, and here's the certified flight instructor taking said student out. Now, the said student is like 50 or 60 years old, and needs to fly again. You know, it's maps, it's weather. You have to know how to communicate with the air traffic control people, the tower. Yep. You guys don't care about that. All right, here's another interesting little detail. U.S. falls from the world's 10 most powerful passports, and the most powerful the declining strength of the U.S. passport since its number one spot in 2014 signals a fundamental shift in global mobility. Soft power dynamics, which has to do with how many countries can you go visa-free. Singapore tops the Henley's ranking list, which uses data from the International Air Transport Association to examine passports visa-free travel. Now, you still need your passport, but the question is, does it need to be pre-stamped by a consulate if you want to enter a certain country? South Korea. Singapore tops the list because you don't need visas for 193 of the 227 destinations. South Korea is second on the list with visa-free travel in 190 destinations. Japan is third with 189. And Afghanistan is on the bottom. There's only 24. If you have an Afghan passport, you're only going to be allowed in 24 destinations visa-free. The U.S. dropped to 10th in July after sinking to 7th last year, and tied with Malaysia at number 12 with visa-free access to 180 destinations. And, to zoom in on this topic, the report cites suspicion of visa issuance to travelers from 12 nations in Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. He is imposing heavy restrictions on an additional 7, and threatens to ban up to 36 more, among other factors. Representatives to the White House did not immediately respond to the Axios Wednesday night request for comment. Loss of visa-free access to Brazil in April due to the lack of reciprocity. The U.S. being left out of China's expanding visa-free list, and Vietnam's decision to exclude the United States in its latest visa-free travel editions were among other reasons for the slide, according to the report. Yeah, you're not visa-free to us? Fine. Yep. Okay. We will put that on our list of important things to consider. There you go. There's your man holding up his, I guess, his passport. Yep. Guess we'll have to do we'll take a picture of that. I thought that was interesting. I thought you might find that interesting. You're a world traveler. We're waiting for the Supreme Court ruling on voting rights, which could boost Republicans' redistricting efforts. I weighed myself in 172. You can see the red arrow. 172 pounds for Jimmy. And I can lift up on that. And that was, there you go, October 16th at 6:11 a.m. According to my Funkin' Wagnall. According to my Apple iPhone 17 Pro Max JPEG image, which is embedded with the exact date, time, and place of the recording of that information. Just lift up on the image, and there it is. It was taken with my main camera. Yep. And there it is on the map. And we'll use satellite map, of course. And this is an aerial view of the Royal Palm Plaza magnificent apartments we live in on the 8th floor. And we can just two finger down. You can see the street, and right there down in the corner is Chops. We're right above Chops. The entrance for Chops is right there, and we're straight up to here. Not the top balcony. The balcony right below it. Yeah. Where you can see the chair backs. Yep. It's hard to see exactly. But if we turn around the other way and then do there we go. That's my view. And if I fly about 5,000 feet, there's Lake Boca. And a little bit more, here is the Boca Raton Tower. There it is in all its glory. And there is the beach, the ocean. And you can see from where I'm looking, where my scale is. Yeah, that's it. So you can see what I can see. There you go. That's a little higher view. And you can see anyway, 172 pounds. That's So what are you getting from that story? There you go. You get that all from the image data that's attached to each one of your photographs. Did you know that? I bet you might not have known that either. I know, I'm just chock full of information. This is just out of your photo album. There's a photo from my old photo album. Yep. So we're looking at my iPad. You can see my hands. You just, with one finger, push up. And this EXIF data, let's see, how do I get that so you can see it? Oh, yeah. We just do this. Yeah. We just do the old squeeze play. There we go. So now you can see. Push up.
It's 4 o'clock.
One finger. You can't have more than one finger on the screen at a time, or else something else will happen. It's 4 o'clock, by the way. Yeah. Just had my 4 o'clock. My computer said it's 4 o'clock. Turn that epidemic down. A dull roar here. Yeah, how's that? So you can hear, we want to hear epidemic, but we don't want to get over-modulated. Let's try 36 decibels. How's that? Is that okay? We don't want to over-modulate. I noticed the last time I was just a little overmodulated. I can turn myself down a little bit. How's that? Is that okay? I'm watching my volume unit do that over here. What is this set at? Okay, we'll just leave it right there. All right, one finger push up and you get all this information right out of the header file. The header is attached. It's all part of the image information, including the image itself. How about that? One finger up and you get that information. Use hit X and get rid of it. It's in the background. But every picture, there you go. Now this is information from when I did a screenshot. So it's essentially my information. No location data. It's just right out of my iPad here. £172. I was 194. The scale was up to here. I can edit this picture. And let's, there's my pen point. Let's put a red dot. 180, 190, 1, 2, let's use 2 fingers to expand that. 190, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just do this. We don't want to do that. Let's try again. 180, 194. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll do this. Oh, crap. Pen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. that be it? Let's see what happens. There you go. It's a faint. You can see it anyway. There. That's where I was. 194, 172. That is a 22-pound dropperoni. Yep. That's it. All right, I just sent in one of my older devices to Mac me an offer. And they got it and they're looking at it. If it inspects out the way I sent it in the original box, I mean, geez, cleaned it up, there's not a scratch on it. It looks like it's right out of the factory. It's better than out of the factory because I've used it a little bit, not much, probably less than 100 hours over a year's time. And yeah, there's my proof of delivery. They got it yesterday. So within a day or two, maybe even today, tonight or whatever. All right, what's going on here? Let's see. There we are. This is the national safety restraints display, October 2025. It's a show, and the takeaway from that, according to the Associated Press, AP, investigation into ICE's use of full body restraints, known as the wrap. And they clamp the legs, they clamp the wrists, they clamp the wrists to the waist, and they got you down. And then, of course, they use a little Velcro, if you're really uncooperative, and they'll Velcro you to a board. They're not putting up with any of your crap. No. You either cooperate or they're going to restrain you. And they have the restraints, the wrap. See the wrap? It looks like a half a bag in which your legs are and everything are put in there, and you're zipped up. No, that's a zipper of just the material. But it's apparently like Velcro. I can see like tabs right here. And they attach there you go, there's a wrist doodad, which attaches your wrist there, so you're stuck. You ain't going anywhere. You're gonna have to hop. You'd have to hop along. Like you're in a sack of potatoes. That's known as the wrap. Use of the full body wrap. This photo was provided by the Safe Restraints Inc. In the October 2025, it shows a custom version of the wrap restraint equipment made for the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. They gotta arrest all these bad guys and deport them. They wrestle them up. They put them before a deportation judge, and if the person doesn't have papers, He gets deported. Yep. So that's what this lady's saying. The San Mateo County Sheriff, Christina Corpus, speaks at a news conference in Moon Bay, California. The first time in California county history they removed a sheriff over misconduct allegations. Well, we don't know. We do not know what the allegations are, but that's who it is. She's been compromised. She's removed as its sheriff. So she's no longer a sheriff in San Mateo County. Sorry, just whacked into the microphone here. Yeah. This is the beauty. This is a Shure SM7B. There's nothing better. You can see it right there. The Shure SM7B is magnificent. Yes, it is. Picks up voices like nothing else can. Anybody that has any kind of reputation uses the Shure SM7B. There's nothing like it. Everybody tries to get close to it, but they just can't quite get there. If I talk about it on the show, it gets a heart, meaning it's a favorite. And here's on a lighter note, here's Trader Joe's crustless peanut butter and strawberry jam sandwiches. See there? Those little squeezy-onnies, and they're like squeezed. No crust. It's bread with no crust. And they're being sued by Schmucker's Uncrustables, because it's an infringement on its, copyright. I don't think you patent such things. I think you copyright it. Schmucker's crust-free sandwiches are displayed on a shelf at Target in Warren, Michigan. Yep. And I believe they're suing them because Trader Joe's is infringing on the protection that these guys think they have, because they have crust-free, thaw and eat peanut butter and strawberry jam sandwiches. What do you got? 10 in a box. There's 4 in a box there for $4.39, or 10 for $10.49. And these guys have, 4 for $3.79. Four times 9 is 36. That's 37. So it's about 90 cents a piece for those. And it's about $1 a piece for those. There's 10.49. So that'd be, $1.05 a piece. And these are 90 cents a piece. There you go. They're suing each other. Smucker's is suing Trader Joe's, saying its new peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are too similar to the Uncrustables. That's in business news. Can you believe it? You're watching it here live. Live and in color. Yeah. Could that be my actual blood sugar right now? It is. I'm just getting over. I had a late lunch. So you can see on the graph, at about 1:45, 1:30 I started eating. There's a little delay, by the time you chew it up and swallow it and everything. So, zip, went right about 200. It's hanging in there about a little over 200. 205. 205 and steady. Now, I'm not going to eat again until 8, and that'll come back down to about 140. Yep. That's what that 20 is there. It's actually 200, but we'll keep it a secret. There we go. Whoops. What am I looking at? Oh no, I'm looking at my... There we go, I'm looking at my photo album. Yeah. And the question is, can I make it a little bit bigger? The answer is yes. Let's start there and pull it over. There we go. That's an even better picture. All right. Guess what? This is the Pentagon Press Corps. A bunch of people from different news agencies, and these guys are leaving the Pentagon saying, you know what? They've turned in their press credentials, and because they have new rules in the Pentagon. Here they are. It's like a protest. There's the guy, he's got his box of stuff. Yeah, take your bag. Where's your plant? Guess they don't allow plants in there. He's got his nice brief bag. So he's got a little shopping bag. They probably planned in advance. Anyway, no more credentials for them. Department of Defense. Yep. Here's all their signs. Washington Post reporter Tara Kopp, COPP, saves the name plaques from various news organizations as she and members of the media pack up their stuff in the press area of the Pentagon. So, Tara Kopp is... It's an interesting name. She's walking out with the Fox News. Yeah, she's taking the Fox News sign. She's taking the Associated Press sign. Reuters. There's ABC News. Yeah. And she's also grabbed the clock. Yeah. What does that say? Something press. Yep. So she's grabbed the clock. Designed by it looks like it's 1:30 in the afternoon. She's grabbed the clock. She's got the some of these signs. They're mounted on this, this board. STARS. Yeah. I would do the same thing. Truth is, I grab those as souvenirs too. Yeah, particularly that Fox News one. Yep, there they are. People at press corps, they're walking out with the stuff. And where Tara Kopp is she's copying all the the press signs. Yep. They're all walking out. Journalists turn in access badges rather than agree to the new reporting rules. They're in a Pentagon, and they probably, they probably have to turn in their repertoire into, the Pentagon briefing room. I don't have a clue, right? I haven't. I'm just saying. I imagine Pete Hegseth is tightened up. So you're going to be writing any stories that has anything to do with national security or leaking information or any of that? Nah, we're in a no-leak zone. So yep, they're out of here. As of yesterday, apparently, because this is today, it's the 16th of October. And it happens to be a Thursday. Whoops. Now what happened there? Look at that. I must have touched something on the side here, and looks like Facebook just said adios amigo. Well, we're going to continue without that. As long as YouTube's got us. It's 421. Anyway, they got 43 minutes of me and said, usually it's an internet deal. Something happens with the internet. There we go. Journalists turn in their access badge. They're walking out with the signs. Yeah, they're taking their crap with them. And someone else's crap too. Meet the NFL players, who have played at more games than almost anyone. Probably quarterbacks. Good receivers. We're going into yesterday. You can see in the very top. Yesterday at 6:29 p.m. I captured this. Judge blocks Trump's layoffs during a shutdown, calling them illegal. You know what illegal is? It's a sick bird. Illegal. Illegal. Sorry. Anyway, NFL Week 7. The picks, predictions, and odds for every game. You can get it right here on Flipboard. Flipboard. If you don't have it, you're missing out. You see the little flip over here in the on the very right edge of that picture? FLIP in black. So when you see that, you flip it or zip it. So you can flip it and you'll get all, Week 7's NFL picks, predictions, and probabilities. The odds. I was just keeping all the P's going. Instead of PPO, I'd rather have pick, predictions, and pronunciations. Prognostications. Not odds. Come on. All right, Apple shares a fix for its frustrating not delivered iMessage bug. It's a bug. I'll be darned. Yeah. You send a message to like 5 or 6 people at once, a thread with a number of participants. And it says, meep. Didn't send. not delivered. I get it. Not now, because they fixed it with the new version of the iOS 26. The not delivered alert, when it's you have SMS and the RCS messages in a green bubble. You come to your email address instead of your phone number. Anyway, they supposedly fixed it, according to Tony Figurelli or whatever his name is. So here is the iPhone 15, 16, and 17. We were shocked. Here's the 3 different identical images. Look at that little ball of fun. He looks like you can see they're slightly different. See, he's in the 15, Pro Max 15, he's kind of looking down. And then he's turned his head a little bit. And there he's the same. Mine was the same. There's his little hand over here in the middle image. And then the image on the right, his arm is down, so you don't see his hand. On the very rightmost image, the hand is straight out. In the middle image, the arm is bent, so the 2 hands are almost touching, but not. And then in the third image, we don't see a hand. So, you could zoom in. Whoops. He looks like he's getting ready for a little spit-upski right here. Oh, yeah, I'm going to pop. Here he's almost pop. Mama looks the same. She keeps the same smile, almost the same. Yeah, a little different. There you go, his arms are open. He's got those fatty cheeks. Over here, same kind of smile. See here, her hair is not so fuzzy around her ear. Here the hair is very fuzzy around her ear. And there she put it back again. She's with that free arm, just swap that hair back properly. Anyway, they were shocked. I didn't read the story. I'm going to. I speed read it, and I couldn't get. I didn't get it. There's a picture of my blood pressure reading. A couple of, it was midday, 12:06. Ooh, it was like lunchtime. It's not midnight. I think it's on the clock. It's not right on there. Anyway, it's down to 133 over 75 or something this morning. So I was not having a heart attack, just so you know. There's proof that my computer that I'm selling to Mac me an offer. Has been delivered. Here's the new Apple Watch. Popular. There we go. We stretch it right to the point where we get maximum. maximum viewability on that side of the screen, because I'm over on this side of the screen, right to that point. Yeah, and then you can see my I'm a pad. This, I love my Apple Watch because it keeps track of all my health information. Star Trek, there those guys are. They have their super duper water guns in their hands. They're stun guns. They pull the trigger on that, and the humanoid falls right to the ground.
It's 4:30.
You can put it on stun, you can put it on adios amigo. I guess that's Scotty. Spock and Captain Kirk. Yeah, he's like 90 now. He's still floating around, giving speeches and talking. It's pretty good. There we go. New York Post. The fugitive grandniece who assaulted cops lived in Tish James' fraud house. The home to roost. Oh my God. Federal prosecutors alleged New York Attorney General Tita James falsely listed this Virginia property as a second home when she was really renting it to her grandniece, Nakia Thompson. Yep. Who had absconded on parole. So she disappeared when she was on parole. And what's her face was renting it to her when she called it her second home on a mortgage application. On a federal mortgage application, might I add. The federal application was to guarantee a lower rate. You know, as a state employee and all that, she gets special discount because it was her second home. It wasn't her second home, it was an income property because she was renting it to her grandniece. Oh, well, I didn't know any better. Well, talk crap. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. If it's your second home, then your grandniece stays in it for free. You can't charge a rent. Dude. Anyway, we were parked next to a couple of police cars in the FAU parking lot. And then we had to walk all the way over. I've since this picture, yeah, this is a screenshot of a picture. So I don't have the data on when, but you can see Maryland's press pass. Yeah. There's our 384 house. There's a nice medium rare steak. Yeah, with a glass of iced tea behind there in the background. Bone-in ribeye. Probably looks with the big bone. Yeah, ooh. Oh my God. I feel so ashamed. She's all wrapped up. Checkbook. All right. Israeli hostages are finally released. This is a part of leader of the free world. Trump has solved another problem, got the Israeli-Hamas war under control, and all the living hostages have been released by Hamas. They got about, I think they got 16 of the 20 dead bodies. They're trying to find where the bodies are. They could be buried somewhere, and in mass graves where they just dump the bodies in a hole, and a bunch of them, and fill it in. So they're probably going to have to be digging up bodies. There's my fresh tomato sauce. Yes. There's the serial number of the Apple doesn't have very easy. They're all alphabets. It's not alphanumeric. It's all alphabet soup. The 26 letters in the alphabet, and there are only 10 digits in the decimal system. So they've decided, hell with that. We got billions and billions more numbers. Anyway. They're still going to be. Well, they're just going to have to get after these people and arrest them, put them in jail. You can't have these agitators constantly, because you got these radicals with guns. They're supposed to disarm themselves, and if they don't, the plan says if you don't disarm, then we will disarm you. Yep. There's an update. The over-the-air software updates that we get periodically, about every 2 weeks we get a software update directly from, I believe, Fremont, California. Yep. Let me send Marilyn a message. It's not too late. Let's see where she is. She rolling? Let's see where Marilyn is. Is she rolling or is she parked? Looks like she's parked. And oops, she's here. She is HOME. Yep. Too late. All right. I'm about done. So you all have a great day. And, see if you can, well, have a nice evening. Catch you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Bye-bye.